Warning. The following program contains adult language, adult themes, and spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
In Chinatown, nothing ever changes. Nothing exciting ever happens to me or you or anyone we know.
I feel like I'm a background character in someone else's story.
I think that's called being a loser.
Shut up, man.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's episode of This Week's Episode. I'm your host this week, Karen Randazzo, and with me as always is mild-mannered waiter with delusions of grandeur, Kris Randazzo.
Almost everybody was kung fu fighting.
Wisecracking, floor-mopping sidekick, Evan Goldstein.
I know kung fu.
And hot blonde lady cop, Angie Fernot.
I am hot, and I am not blonde, but I am a lady cop, and I make the ground quake.
This is episode 286 for the week of April 2nd, 2025. This week, our main topic is Interior Chinatown Season 1, Episode 1, Generic Asian Man. But before we get to that, here's your weekly reminder you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com. Tell us what your TV show fantasy is. Tell us your usual order and favorite Chinese restaurant. Tell us anything you want. Just make sure you put this week's episode in the subject line because we always want to hear from you, the listener. Hey, guys.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hey.
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 We're here.
Barely.
We're here because we're here because we're here because we're here.
We're here because we're here.
Okay.
What's up? How's things in the old NC?
Old NC. No, they're good. We're having a gallery show opening tomorrow. That's cool.
Fourth Friday.
Yep. We hung a show. I got to curate with, in a sense, I recruited 4 other artists to do a 5-artist show because that's how math works. And it opens tomorrow. We just finished hanging it before we are doing this recording tonight. So it's been a bit of a long day.
The show's called Oddballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
That looks so fun and cool, and I wish I could go to it.
Oh, thank you. I wish you could too. But you would be with us in spirit.
You know, it's wild because
I will.
there's 5 artists, and I think less than half are doing what they are known for doing. Everybody, like, there's 3 out of the 5 are just doing something different this time around, and it's really interesting to see.
Who? What?
So Grayson is doing what we discussed.
Yeah, that's secret. Top secret.
You are known for more of your comic book stuff, and you're hanging more of your illustrated, beautiful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Al does that. He's hanging oil paintings that are more like bowls of fruit kind of thing, but with weird touches. So that's not his normal as well. And then there's the 2 other guys the other people that are just the only thing that we've known them to do. So
yeah, that's true.
It's neat to see people, stretch out and try other things. So.
It's deviating. I mean, all the stuff that I'm hanging, I have 2 comic book covers, and I do have a Ghostface, so I do
now
have...
you do, yeah.
Yeah, I do have
today.
some of that stuff going in, but yeah, we've definitely deviated from the norm, though all of those pieces just about have previously hung in gallery spaces, so this isn't really anything new.
Mm. So yeah, that's tomorrow, and then we have a show this weekend, pop culture comic book show at the local Elks Lodge, and yeah.
No rest for the wicked.
How you guys doing?
I know. I'm about to dive into all that myself. I have my first show on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday night. It is
an evening show?
Yeah, it's 8 to 2 a.m., but the vendors leave at midnight.
What?
I know. I'm suffering so bad.
I'm
like, what did I do to myself?
Did you lose a bet?
Like, we have night markets down here, but they're not insane.
Well, yeah. So it's a night market, live music,
it honestly
alternative
sounds
shopping
really cool.
experience.
Okay.
It's called Ghost Mart. And then 12 to 2 a.m. is the Goth DJ dance party.
Shut your fucking mouth. What?
Goth DJ Dance Party. Write that down. That's going to be the episode title.
Amazing.
So it's a new event for me. I have no idea how it's going to go, but
it's going to go
really
great.
I'm just psyched to be doing shows again. It's been 3 months.
So this is the first show of your year?
Yes.
Nice.
And then I plunge headfirst into a month of nonsense for April.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends tonight who's doing the show because this gallery we're hanging in, they ask you as part of your agreement to like man the gallery for some of the weekends because they're only open most of the time on weekends. And one of the artists, when I asked him, I was like, yeah, dude, like, what's your calendar looking like? Do you think you have any availability? And he was like, I literally have markets every Sunday and I have shows every weekend. And I was like, holy crap, I thought my schedule sucked. Like, it's just wild what some people do. Like, yeah.
Busy little bees.
Yeah.
Normally I try to stick to one show a month, but that's not the way the calendar fell this time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know, he's on another level with that stuff, because, like, even for me, I'm like, I can work a lot, but that's too much.
Well, you gotta do the shows when they come around. That's the problem, especially if you're not running the show. You just gotta play with what you got. So
yeah, and then if you're trying out new shows or whatever, sometimes they just back up on each other.
Yeah, how are you doing with that stuff this year? Do you think you're going to do a lot of new shows, or?
Some new. The next weekend I'm doing a Comic-Con in Ocean City, New Jersey, so that'll be a first for me.
Nice. Did we discuss the last? When did we do the Comic-Con here? Did we have a show?
Coastal Comic-Con?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the short version is it was like one of the best shows we've ever had. It was kind of nuts.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
A 2-day show.
It was a local Comic-Con. Like, it was 15 minutes away. It was a good-sized show and made bank. So
yeah.
All the boxes checked.
Yeah. Wilmington showed up. That was fucking cool.
If for some reason this cop made friends with us, and she was in our booth the entirety of the show, to the point where
on the second day.
Yeah, on the second day, someone thought we hired security.
Well, that's good to hear.
A friend of ours, like, did you hire? No, you know us.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm usually kind of anti-police, and this woman, like, I'll just talk to anyone at a show, like, I'm not gonna be an asshole about it, but, like, then she just, like, we hit it off, we were just kind of bullshitting, and, like, she was like, can I just, like, sit in your booth? And Evan apparently said yes, and after that, she was like, it was like a hermit crab with a shell.
I thought you just wanted to, like, chill for a minute.
Yeah. We didn't know.
Hours.
Yeah. But it
like,
was
don't
great.
You have something to do?
Listen, she went and got her McDonald's. She was like, here's a chicken nugget. Like, you want some fries with that? Like, I was like, girl, yes, I do.
So.
Aw.
Yeah, she's cool.
Nice.
I like her a lot. So,
well, it's good to hear that you had a show that went well, because I'm a little, nervous about shows this year and the economy and whatnot, but I also think that people are, like, desperate for joy, and so hopefully that...
I mean, you're in Jersey. It's a completely different set of circumstances down here. Everybody is in joy down here.
No. Not everybody. But I do get your point, and that's been a large concern. I'm wondering if that was, like, I don't know, the calm before the storm or whatever of people just not spending money. We'll see. Like, I was genuinely shocked at the outcomes of that show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So, and, like, not even from a, like, oh, I'm being pessimistic. Like, it was better than I expected to do, even if I did expect to do well. So, I don't know. I just don't know if that was, like, a flash in the pan or if that's, like, setting a tone. But I'm going to be open to the fact that this year will be good for shows. I'm going to manifest that shit right fucking now. So.
Live the dream, I say.
Yeah.
Take it when you can.
Yes.
What about you, sir? Anything to add?
How's the gym?
Oh, it's good.
So convincing.
Since last we spoke, I am at 5 days a week. I'm doing, cardio and lifting stuff Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just cardio on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which has been working out for me. Except I'm pretty sore this week. I think I pulled something in my sleep last night, which was fun. I rolled over and then woke up with this horrible pain in my chest of just something pulled in one of my chest muscles. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So I think I might take a quick break from still go every day and do the cardio and sit in the sauna, but maybe take a little break from the weights and use that time to come home and do yoga. My neighbor recommended a YouTube video for me for doing yoga, and if it wasn't so effective, I would have stopped.
So I'm letting you know. On the Plex, if you want it, is Diamond Dallas Page's extreme yoga workout.
Okay.
Diamond Dallas Page is a old-timey WWE wrestler in like Jake the Snake Roberts kind of time frame. And
so WWF is
yes.
what we're cooking with.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
I've had a lot of people recommend it, so if you do it, let me know. But that aside,
are you feeling more confident with the machines? You were having concern.
Oh yeah, right. I'm feeling more confident with the machines that I use, and I've kind of looked at some of the other machines and okay, now at least I think I know how that one's supposed to work, but I'm not ready to do that yet.
Gotcha.
I'm not there on that, but I've got my routine working out pretty well. I've started focusing a bit more on form, so whereas I was going in there and lifting a decent amount of weight, I've learned since then that it's probably better for me to do less weight, but do it slower and longer. I would go and do something and I would just be I wouldn't be fully extending my arms in every direction,
Yep.
Because it's harder to do that way. So
it's more difficult.
Just been I was all right, well, if I actually want to accomplish something, then I need to do this. So I just drop 20 pounds off of whatever I was doing before and be all right, this is super easy, but it's not going to be after I've done 20 of them. So I'll do reps of 50 of everything that I do. So 20 or 25 in, I'm yep, this is starting to suck. And then by the end, I'm lifting this pittance of weight, but I'm just
yeah.
Yep. So that's super cool. Yeah. Another friend of mine joined the gym, so now I have I have another gym buddy.
Awesome.
Somebody I used to work with at the FAA a while back, and she is the kind of person who is happy to talk while we're there. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll just doing cardio. We'll just park next to each other on the treadmills and just bullshit, which was every day at my old job with her. She was my boss, so I would come in and the first hour of my day every day was just sitting in her cube and her talking to me about her crazy ass life. So awesome. Now I get to do that. I missed it because she's fun. She's nuts, but she's a fun kind of nuts. And so now Tuesdays and Thursdays we just walk on the treadmill next to each other, and she's just going on and on about whatever's going on in her life, and it's super fun. Goes by so much quicker when I'm talking to somebody, because on the other days when I'm doing the harder cardio stuff, I'm doing the steps or whatever, I'm watching something on my phone, and I was doing, because I'm still in the midst of a Letterkenny rewatch, and I was doing that, but I can't laugh while I'm doing it's I'm already, when it gets, towards the end of it, I'm already pretty winded, so I don't want to laugh in addition to that, so I started taking the stuff that isn't super funny, and I guess that's been working out fairly well. I was kind of working my way through all the Marvel stuff, but because I'm also watching it with the kids, I'm all right, maybe not. Maybe I'll try, go in a different direction. I just started Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Again, which I've never rewatched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
And man, that first episode's rough. That first episode is very
that first half season is rough.
It's like he's Joss Whedon's brother trying to make Avengers again, but without the interesting characters. It's like, oh, this is not cooking. But I'm gonna stick with it because I know this show gets so much better. Like I remember it being really good, so I'm gonna try and stick with it. But yeah, no, the gym's doing well. There was all that Marvel movie news yesterday with all the ridiculous cast reveal.
Nothing surprised. Did anything surprise you? Like legitimately
the X-Men stuff.
Yeah, okay. That
I don't know any of this.
They just announced the cast for Avengers Doomsday, and it's everybody.
Literally everyone
was already in a Avengers or Marvel movie already, except Patrick Stewart. Nope. The other one.
Yeah, no, he was in the Multiverse of
Nope, the other
McKellen.
one.
They did that, and then they were like Ian McKellen. Okay, that's interesting. Alan Cumming? What? James Marsden? Excuse the fuck out of me? What? Like, okay, so we're just reuniting the X-Men 2 cast? Like, okay. That was a shock to me. Okay. I can't say I was terribly shocked, but I was happily reassured that it started with Chris Hemsworth, right? Because I really wasn't sure where we were landing with him. So that makes me happy to kind of have that tied together. Like he's kind of like cementing that. But the people that weren't mentioned, I thought were really interesting. Like Hulk, no Mark Ruffalo, no Tatiana Maslany, no Wong, no Benedict Cumberbatch. Like, there was a bunch of interesting omissions. I'm certainly fascinated by it.
Just think about if this is this a single movie? Or is this a series?
Yeah, this is just for Doomsday, which
the
is
most expensive
Doomsday
movie ever created in just cast. That's it. Don't remove special effects, remove paying the director, just all cast alone, astronomically expensive.
Yeah, I mean they're talking a pretty big game right now, and I'm very much enjoying Daredevil, and I think Fantastic Four looks really good, and Captain America was certainly cohesive. So I think Thunderbolts looks great. I think Fantastic Four looks great, but like I'm still really uneasy about the Downey casting for Doctor Doom, and they got the Russos on this, and they put Robert Downey Jr. back into it. It just seems like they're begging for safety, and that's usually not the sign of a great movie. But we're gonna have to wait and see. And then there was a bunch of video game news. I'm in the middle of all kinds of stuff right now. There was a Nintendo Direct this morning, which was super freaking weird. I'm working on a review for this new Breakout game, which is outstanding, but I'm also like talking to one of the developers on the regular, which is really fun. It just kind of came out of nowhere, so I'm learning all kinds of shit about future updates that's off the record, which is like, this is super cool. And then their big Nintendo Switch 2 reveal is on Wednesday. Like, that's when we're getting the big blowout, the games, the price, the release date, all theoretically. And oh boy, I'm excited.
Good time to be alive.
I'm excited. But I'm also exhausted. I'm again in a boat where I'm doing too much. It's 9:30. I got to be up at 5 for the gym tomorrow. So like, I shouldn't be in bed any later than a half an hour from now, and that's not going to happen. So this whole being at the gym thing is very important, and I'm noticing major differences in the way I feel. But it's also kind of running directly against my podcasting life and other life. Just every
life.
My life is 50 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, and I don't know what to sacrifice in order to make it work. But so far, it's been nothing, and it's working out great.
Yeah, that month-long headache you had was really fun.
Absolutely. Nice $22,000 some odd dollar emergency room bill.
A $2,000 headache.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Well, with all that you've been doing, has anybody had any time to watch any TV?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go real quick because I'm just catching up on Invincible. I fell way behind.
Yeah, we haven't watched season 3 yet, so don't kill it for us.
I don't even think I'm in season 3 yet. Like, I fell off because like I've read the books and I was like, none of this is surprising me. It's good, but and then someone somewhere said that when the show continues, it's going to be off book, and I'm like, crap. I now have to catch up so that I can be part of that. So I'm halfway through season 2. Like, I just hit episode 7. So, I'm almost done with season 2. So, it's great. Same as it was before. I mean, nothing has surprised me yet. Still ultra violent, but well done. So, I'm looking forward to season 4 when it, leaves the pattern of the comics and tries to do something new. So, that's what I got.
I can do mine next. It's pretty quick. The new season of Yellowjackets has started. And I wasn't sure I wasn't sure I was even going to get a new season of Yellowjackets at one point. So as soon as I saw that it was out, I was like, "Fuck yeah, man!" And it's I think I'm on the 3rd episode now. So I haven't gotten very far, but I think this season, fingers crossed, I might actually get some answers. That would be great.
Sure,
that'd be great. Yeah. The casting
That's
is
what you
still
want.
right. Yeah. But a major character was killed off last season, and it was kind of unexpected. And honestly, I'm not too mad about it. But I wasn't sure where they would take all this and what would happen, and I'm really curious to see where it's going to go. So I'm just pumped that it's back and enjoying the soundtrack quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, we did. Did we watch that for this show?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Boy, that was a dark show.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it. Like, you just watched like the first episode, right? Yeah. It got
that's
wildly dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's cannibalism.
I kind of smelled
and
where it was going and was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I don't think that I can do this.
I don't need this in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like weird stuff. We all know this, so
absolutely. And it looks
looks very quality.
it just looks like I can't handle that much sad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, all my favorite shows right now are shows like that. Like, I finished that season. That was really dark, too. I don't know, my microphone. Sorry, my microphone just fell.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, basically, like, I enjoy these shows, I think, because... Oh, God, it just attached itself again. Okay.
It's magnetic, honey.
I know, but I was trying to, like, hover so it wouldn't make a bunch of noises. Sorry, God.
Nope.
Yeah, anyway, long story short, I'm watching Yellowjacket. It is very dark, and I like it.
I really wish I could watch it with you. The biggest problem I have is that timeline jump. It gets so confusing to me if it's not overtly out in the woods. Like, because in the past they're in the jungle. In modern day, they're in, a town. So if it's not overt, I get lost. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Whatever.
And it's really
someone's going to die.
Not that hard. It's really not that hard, I promise. I can help you with that. But anyway.
Yeah. What do you guys got?
I would talk about a show that I've been the show that I've been watching a bit more regularly. So I was doing a kind of attempting to do a Saturday morning cartoon thing with myself where I would watch a half an hour of that's what I should talk about instead. That's I can't believe I didn't even think to do that. Dragon Ball Daima wrapped up, and I finally caught up on it, and I got to be back in time watching it week to week, and I was watching it in the mornings, like by myself. I'd be eating breakfast hours before everybody else is awake and or willing to come downstairs, and I'd be like, all right, cool. So I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to eat some breakfast and I'm going to throw the latest episode of Daima up on my phone and enjoy myself. And boy, that show was quite a trip. It was Akira Toriyama's last Dragon Ball before he passed, and that's super sad because this show did a really fun job of filling in a lot of lore loopholes that had been floating around over the years. The vibe of this show is so much more Dragon Ball than like Dragon Ball Z. So Dragon Ball Super, the the second most recent show, was very action heavy, and this was so much more fantasy heavy, and kind of goofball, and it tied in like weird Dragon Ball GT stuff, like Goku went Super Saiyan 4, which was weird, but it was all really cool, and it was really pretty. It was very well animated. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm sad that it's over, but I guess we'll see what happens next in the world of Dragon Ball. What does that series look like post Toriyama?
Yeah,
because they're not going to stop, right? There's too much money to be made for them to actually stop, just because the main creative force behind the show has passed on.
Where are you watching that? Like,
it was on Netflix, actually.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Netflix had them week to week.
Wow.
With the subtitles. I think the dubbed version is out now, but I'm happy to watch the subtitled one.
Gotcha.
So that was, I was just watching the new episodes as they showed up on Netflix, and now
I just remember there being
a current season of Dragon Prince.
I remember there was a kerfuffle with what's it, Crunchyroll? Like,
yep.
So I was just curious as to where that was.
What was the kerfuffle?
There was rights and charges and all like
okay, like it got real.
And people were losing accounts.
There was some nonsense on that. Crunchyroll actually had it a week earlier, so like I was watching episodes a week behind most of the diehard fans who were watching it on Crunchyroll,
right?
But I didn't give a shit because I wasn't paying for Crunchyroll, and I already pay for Netflix, so fuck it, I'll wait an extra week. I don't care.
There you go.
It was a really weird story. It was really interesting, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm so glad it existed. And I don't dive into the Dragon Ball fandom because it's toxic as hell. But I've seen a handful of posts show up in my Facebook feed from time to time, just the pure, unadulterated hatred for this show for not being a super dark and moody, violent Dragon Ball. Like, dude, that show's never been that. It's never been that. Dragon Ball's always been goofy as shit, even when it does get super serious and screamy and lots of awesome fight scenes. Like, it's always been kind of weird. Like, this is truer to Dragon Ball's roots than your weird Dragon Ball AF fandom. So, stuff it. Be happy that Toriyama made this wonderful, weird work of art before he died.
Still to this day, the only Dragon Ball reference I have in my brain is Sensubi.
That's it.
It's the only one you need.
That reminds me. So I asked you to get that back on the Plex.
Yes. And what's wrong?
You don't happen to have like the original files that, because I think I had ripped it or something way back in the day. Like, whatever you have now is the current stuff that's on YouTube, which is missing a bunch of stuff. They had to re-upload a bunch of stuff with a lot of the audio just cut out of it entirely so that it wouldn't get pulled for copyright stuff.
Oh, I'll look. Okay.
So if you could find like an unedited and unabridged Dragon Ball Z abridged, that would be super awesome. Because like I felt like I had it backed up somewhere at some point, but that's long gone. And I'll be watching it, and then like there'll just be no sound for like 30 seconds because there was a song they put in there or something, or they just got, because their videos kept having to get pulled. They kept getting copyright claimed, and they'd pull it and try to fix it and put it back up, and then some other bullshit would happen. So whatever you have now is exactly what's up on YouTube.
Right, because that's what, like, I don't know where it went, and then I just went that's where I originally got it from, was I just did a rip from YouTube, but I did it a while ago.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, in fact, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that was... Because, they used to all be just exactly what they were intended to be, but sadly now they are not.
I'll see what I can
sad. Yeah, see what you can find for me. I keep forgetting to ask about that.
All right, I will...
Karen?
You all good on Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I could talk about it all night, but I...
Well, you're the one who wants to get to bed.
I'm not going to.
I'm like, who's spoken the longest?
So I can wrap us up.
I was going to be good at being short. That's why I need your help.
Oh, we love you.
So I'll wrap us up by we finished watching season 5 of Harley Quinn. And I think that's it, right? That's it for the show. They're done.
Oh, I actually no.
No,
they don't. They haven't said that that's the end of the show. It could work as a finale.
It definitely
but
could.
It definitely has not been officially ended. It's probably over, but it has not been officially ended.
This was kind of a weird season. They left Gotham and went to Metropolis.
Yeah.
And they were like searching for, like they were in a rut in their relationship in their lives. So they, were looking for something new. So they went to Metropolis, and Superman wasn't there pretty much the whole time. So that was kind of it.
And what's weird to say is, like, in that universe, he is a cartoon version of Superman.
Right.
Like, he was really depressed at one point in time.
It's such a shame because Alan Tudyk as Clayface and the Joker is like the funniest thing on earth, and the Clayface plot this season was just like, what the hell? Such a waste. Though I really enjoyed Joker and Bruce Wayne's camaraderie throughout the season. Yeah. So like the main plot was them fighting Brainiac. And it was a weird, like, now I am not the comic expert that you guys are, but like, it seemed like a weird kind of version of Brainiac to me. Like, it was like,
yeah, it was definitely odd because he wasn't like megalomaniacal evil Brainiac. He just wanted to organize shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, back in the day, he wanted to keep things like, he wanted to control things, but like in the matter, like he took planets and shrunk them down so that he could keep them.
That's what he was. That was clearly what this version of Brainiac was based on.
Okay.
Yeah, he was doing that, but with cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they did a whole episode of his backstory, like just him and his backstory, and it wasn't funny.
Oh no.
I mean, it was kind of like, it wasn't really, and there was the beginning of it. They showed his family and his wife and his kid and his pet, and they were all talking in like that like robotic way where they, I don't know how to describe it, but it seemed like that was the joke, and it went on and on and on and on. And I was like, what is happening right now? But it was all to explain how he got to the point of getting to Earth and fucking with Metropolis and why he was doing it. I think Aisha Tyler as Lena Luthor was pretty entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was sort of the she was working with Brainiac. And they killed a major character in this. I don't want to spoil it if anybody hasn't seen it, but I thought that was how they handled that was well done.
Was it by any chance Kite Man? Because that show was bad. Like, they should just get rid of that show.
It was not Kite Man.
Oh, damn.
It was a more major character than Kite Man.
Kite Man wasn't in it, so
yeah,
he may as well be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this show is so bad.
And I think that maybe my favorite addition of like a new character was what's his face? King Shark showed up with like a whole bunch of kids at one point, and he was like, "I need you to watch my kids because I'm gonna go do something." And then the one of the kids, Sean, just really took a liking to Harley and Ivy and kept showing up at their place. And that character was really, really fun. I don't know why. I just really liked it. And then Bane ended up with a wife and a kid as well. And so they were like, kind of like, parent friends together, sort of like in a weird found family kind of way.
Oh, okay.
Do Harley and Ivy, you know what? Don't worry about it. I don't watch the show. It's fine.
No, they don't have kids. They have a found family, and that's kind of what the whole season worked towards at the end, was like how could we ever say we're in a rut when we have, like, or something was missing from our lives when we have this whole, like, weird assemblage of characters in our lives that, like, make our lives complete. So it was a nice way to end it. I agree with you, honey, that I think it could totally end there and feel right. And I sort of think it should. There were points in this season where I felt like it was, like, reaching a little bit, like, for plot.
Yeah, I do think the show has run its course. Like,
as much as I love it, yeah, I think it's time, and I would like to see these people freed up to do other fun stuff, because they're all great. So, but overall, I'd say it's worth your time.
Nice.
You're gonna watch it, right, babe?
Yeah, I pop in and out of it. It's like a filler show for me, like on a lunch break or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, in the interest of moving ourselves along, let's take ourselves a break, and when we come back, we will talk about Interior Chinatown. Cool. Stay tuned.
When you hear the words cross-stitch, you probably think of a grandma lovingly making a Christmas stocking, a picture of a lighthouse, or maybe a Bible verse with flowers. But that's not what we do at Shoot the Moon Stitches. We take the old-fashioned art of cross-stitch and pair it with contemporary themes and imagery to create striking works of art that make the perfect gift for anyone who grew up with the internet and has a wicked sense of humor and an appreciation for pop culture. From cult favorite TV shows and movies, to retro video games, to TikTok trends. If it's made you smile, chances are we've stitched it. You can shop our selection of art and gifts by going to Etsy.com and searching Shoot the Moon Stitches. For all your fun, feminist, fandom fiber art needs, visit Shoot the Moon Stitches.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least two of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
And we're back. So, let's talk about Interior Chinatown. This show premiered on Hulu in November of 2024. It's based off a novel by Charles Yu and produced by Taika Waititi, who directed the first episode that we watched. It stars Jimmy O. Yang, known for his roles in Silicon Valley and Crazy Rich Asians, Daily Show host and stand-up comedian Ronnie Chang, and Chloe Bennett of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fame. Yang plays Willis Wu, an average waiter at his uncle's Chinatown restaurant who gets his wish of something exciting happening in his life when he witnesses a local woman's abduction and gets pulled into the investigation by Bennett's Detective Lana Lee. Because no Taika Waititi joint would be complete without a twist, everything happening in Willis's life appears to be taking place within the framing device of a B-list cop show, in which he is a background character. So there's a lot going on in this show, but I want to get your guys' thoughts. So what'd you think?
Evan, you start.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. The fact is, I felt so confused. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, is this reality? Is he stoned? Is this an alternate unit? Like, what is with the color changes and whatnot? And then at the end, when I didn't realize it was a Taika Waititi joint, when that popped up at the screen, I went, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I get it now.
Oh, nothing makes sense? That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense that nothing. And it wasn't like, so it wasn't like wildly didn't make any sense. It was just that there were choices being made that I did not understand. Like, when those cops came in, why did all the lights change fucking color? I didn't understand that.
It's a TV show.
Right. But the weirder shit that was happening was when they weren't around, like the agent showing up and engaging him in that's weirder. That's TV stuff. The other stuff was two cops showing up and, doing their thing.
The weirdest thing to me was the two gangs fighting in the restaurant,
very loudly.
Why? There was no explanation as to why they showed up there, why they were mad at each other. It was just like, we need to have a fight scene now.
Chinatown gang war. That's what it was about.
Exactly.
And I
think that's the point of this whole show is like it's a TV show, so that's what needs to happen now.
Is Jimmy good at kung fu? Like, is that what it's supposed to be?
He was made to be bad.
Right, but like the first half of the fight, he was kicking ass.
But that's what his dad says in the conversation is, did you start strong and then it fell apart? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, it's because I trained you that way.
But that means he's...
Yeah, like, why, Dad?
So confusing.
I didn't have any problems following it, honestly. I thought that there were times when it was just kind of like, it's very tongue-in-cheek, which obviously Taika Waititi is the master of that. But it did... The one point where I was like, oh man, it's kind of stretching a little, is when it turned into like an obvious commercial when they go to the club.
Yeah. What's a hard seltzer?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? So, but I again, like, I get that it's playing off of tropes, and at one point, Evan, you had said something like, wow, this is like really stereotyping, this feels kind of racist, and I was like, that's the point in my mind. Like, the idea is that this is like a fictionalized version of Chinatown, so they're incorporating all these stereotypes into it, and not all of them are true, and I feel like that's kind of what this is like it's sort of a commentary on that.
All right, so, but with that, the fight, this giant, what I interpret as a borderline racist fight, was not in that TV show aesthetic. It was supposed to be, I'm air quoting this and you can't see it, in his reality. Mm-hmm. And that's like the choices that they were making to show the difference between TV and reality. I thought they were borderline reversed. Like,
yeah, I think the way that this is working, my gut tells me that this is a guy who feels like he is in the background of a television show, and this is sort of his interpretation of reality.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I almost feel like the lighting and the visual effects that tell you when it's like the show within a show and when it's quote unquote real life is less to do with like what's actually going on and more to do with like who's there.
Okay.
Like when the main characters of the show within a show are there, that's when they do that, like light changes and stuff.
Got it. Okay.
But I we don't know where this is going. I feel like there's a lot more than we know right now happening with that whole framing device. I think it's wild, and I cannot wait to see what is actually happening there.
Last thing
I hope we get to find out what's happening there.
Last thing I will say is I enjoyed Ronnie in this show way more than I like him on Daily Show. I do not like him as a host on The Daily Show. I think he did a very good job on this show.
I think he's still getting the hang of hosting The Daily Show. I think he's got potential, but I don't think he's really gotten his groove yet.
He is a phenomenal stand-up, and like
oh my god, his stand-up is fantastic.
It's just not translating
I do think
to the
he's
Daily
get
Show.
there.
I want him to, but so
yeah, he's not. He's definitely not there yet. But I think he's I think he's definitely gotten better since he started. Okay. So yeah, I think he'll get there.
What'd you think, Kris?
I also enjoyed it. It was kind of tonally all over the map, like it was really funny, but then like it kind of stopped being funny. It's also really funny that I just started rewatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Chloe Bennett is like
I figured it was because
a tiny
of the
little
show.
baby in that show. She's just like no, because the reason I got there is like I was going to go through the entire MCU at the gym in order, and I made this playlist in your Plex that incorporated Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix shows, like each episode chronologically where they fit.
Got it.
So I was going to kind of go through it that way, 20 to 30 minutes at a time, and I was just like, I'm almost done with Iron Man 2, and I'm like, I really like this movie, but I just watched it not that long ago, and it's got to be something that really keeps my attention to make me not just get bored while I'm, suffering through
doing
exercise.
Something miserable.
Yeah. Like, well, I'm trying to distract from the fact that everything hurts and I'm dying. So this isn't quite doing the drill, except for when Justin Hammer is on screen. Listen to Sam Rockwell.
You're talking about a different show,
long.
Kris.
But no, this was it was very entertaining. It was again super weird. There were certain lighting things, like not necessarily the changes in the color of the lighting, but like when the lights would go out and come back on, I thought was really like, I feel like there's something more to that I just wasn't getting. But it was all very well acted. It was I like the fact that like he is this trope of like, well, I'm a background Asian character in a TV show, so naturally I know kung fu. Like that's just what Asian people do on TV shows. They know kung fu, and I thought that was like, what's going on with his dad? Like when he put the food outside of his door and like his hand came out real close to the floor, like what was going on there? Like I'm so curious. It left me with a lot of questions and enough to make me want to keep watching the show. So yeah, I thought it was pretty well put together. Extremely weird, extremely Taika Waititi. Just kind of tonally all over the place. I also didn't have a hard time following it. I just had I had similar questions of like, what in the hell is actually going on here? Like,
right.
Is any of this happening?
I don't want anybody to think I was confused about what was happening. I just didn't know if it was reality or not. Like that's my question. When they're having that, like it was an uncomfortably borderline racist conversation about what type of Asian she is, and that she's hot, and that led to the all-out mob war. Like, what is real? Like, what's going on? That was what I'm saying. I understood all of it. It was what's based in reality.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stood out for me with the show is, like, Kris, what you're saying, tonally, it was all over the place. I think I definitely related to that, but I didn't lose track of the tone for some reason. Like, the scene when he's, like, going to sit with his dad and eat on the rooftop, and then, like, he gets kind of emotional. Like, I actually felt for him, and I was a little surprised, because I was like, this hasn't really been going in this direction, and yet, like, you got me there. So, I don't know. I feel like I want to know more about these characters and what's going to happen, and, yeah, I'm also curious. Like, this is something that I want to watch more of, and I don't know. I just think it feels fun, and I tend to really like the things that Taika Waititi creates. So, like, I'm kind of sold just on his name being attached, which was funny because I didn't know that he worked on it going in. So, I was just kind of going in blind. I didn't want to read about it. I just wanted to experience it. And when I saw his name at the end, but Evan and I both did, like, kind of a, oh, okay. Like, that makes more sense.
That makes sense. Right.
Because I feel like he does that. He's chaotic sometimes in the way that he creates things, and the tones and the directions and the interactions. Like, so many elements of his work, I think, have that chaos to them. And for some reason, it still works for me.
What's funny is as we just watched this the other day, and it was like, oh, what was the show that what was picked? And as opposed to just getting up, coming into the office, look up the name, I'm like, I remember it was that Asian fella from the IT crowd, and then I looked that up to see what it was. And I'm like, shit, I want to watch an episode of the IT because that was a funny show. And then I see that the Chloe Bennett was like, oh man, that's another show. Like, there were characters and personas in this show that made me want to watch other shows as well. So it was entertaining, and that's what I was looking for. So good stuff.
I do think that the whole, like, larger story with the brother disappearing and him having been involved with Chloe Bennett's character, that's very interesting. That makes me want to know more. The whole family dynamic, I felt like, was really well done as well. Like, the scenes with his mom, those felt so authentic. Of just, like, the way the two of them talk to each other, and, like, what they didn't make a big whole thing about, like, not wanting to, get together and watch the home movies anymore or whatever. It was just like real people talking about it. So, yeah, I thought a lot of the stuff that they did with the family was well done.
The conversations that he was having with his mother and his father were heavy, and they were well done, and it wasn't an exhausting heavy. Like, it was acted so well that you felt that their relationship has depth, and that was not what I expected from the presentation from the rest of the show. When he sat there and had that conversation with his dad on the roof, I did not see that coming, especially since our first interaction was that troll-like reaching out, and, like, I expected we weren't going to see his father at all, and then we got that heavy emotional beat for like 5 to 10 minutes about, how he was raised and the difference between him and his brother. Like, that was well done stuff.
It reminded me a little bit of Our Flag Means Death in a weird way, in that they do zany and sincere with, like, equal levels of equal levels of quality. Like, they do both, like, completely opposite moods that are both done really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I agree. I think that's zany is a very good word. And yeah, I definitely had some Our Flag vibes while watching it. So again, like, the aha moment at the end. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this. Thank you for the suggestion, because that was one that, like, we had watched a trailer for and I'd been like, I want to watch that, and then of course, like, Goldfish Brain, it was out of my head.
Right,
that happens a lot here.
Yeah, oh my god, all the time. Yeah, it's so hard for me to make time for television anymore. So, like, when I actually get to do it and I enjoy what I've spent my time watching, it's a gift.
Yay. The last thing I do want to mention is just how well they spoofed Law and Order.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
As soon as they started doing that, I was like, "Yay! Thank you, Lord."
But speaking of incredibly accurate spoofs, I don't know what they were doing with that arcade cabinet there, but that was incredible. It appeared to be running a ROM hack of Double Dragon because it was like. It was running at the weird slowed down speed of Double Dragon, and all the character animations and sprites were identical to Double Dragon, except they were like in the way that they moved, but they had been altered. Like it looked to me like somebody had actually made a specific ROM hack of arcade Double Dragon for this show. And they kept showing that arcade cabinet, and like on shows, you tend to expect bullshit when it comes to video games, because it's usually like, they're holding a PlayStation controller upside down while the Pac-Man sound effects for Atari 2600 are playing. And it's like, that's just not video games, but that's how video games are done on TV. This was like, somebody put work into that. Somebody put some real work into that arcade cabinet. And that was freaking cool to me.
Well, the funny part about that is, my understanding is none of that, anytime you see a screen on screen, it's not real. Like, they add that in after the fact. So, Ronnie is not actually playing the game, because if they were to show that screen during recording, you'd get the tracking line, especially in an older cabinet like that. So after the fact, someone in special effects went, I want this to look real. And they put that in there. Like, oh man, Kris will appreciate that.
And I did appreciate that. That was super cool.
It's almost as if they got like some kind of blessing from like the people who made Double Dragon and the people who made Law and Order to like get as close to the original as they did without, violating copyright law.
Just for Kris, though.
Yes.
And
so
I want to give a special shout out to him doing the table setup with the dishes.
With the spinning Lazy
thing.
Susan.
Like, I've seen that before, but I'm glad that they added that in, because that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, and it looks cool from shot from above, like they did that. Well, cool. I'm glad that I picked a good show and that you guys liked it and it was worth everyone's time. I think we will hopefully plan on continuing watching this, dear.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, it's on the list.
Sweet.
For sure. I'd be happy to continue watching this.
The list.
Right, cool.
The list that just keeps getting longer and longer. Ugh.
Well, it is only 10 episodes, so that is also nice. And I don't know whether there will be any more of it. Obviously, like, I don't know if there's news to say that there's been more, but it is based off a novel, and so, like, it's got to end at some point, or they've got to go off book. So I guess once we get to the end of the season, we'll find out whether there's room for it to go any further.
Indeed, do.
But anyway, that is gonna wrap it up for us. So, darling, do you have a spiel?
I sure do. This week's episode is not filmed before a live studio audience, but it is fueled by feedback from listeners like you. And you can get in touch with us in a multitude of ways. We have an official Geekade Discord where there's an entire This Week's Episode channel dedicated to all things TV talk, and of course the regular Geekade social media accounts linked to in the show notes. The four of us can be found in various ways. You can read my work at StoneAgeGamer.com and in the pages of Nintendo Force magazine. Karen, where can people find you?
I am at STM Stitches on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Etsy, and that's about it. Yeah.
Angie, where can people find you?
I forgot Blue Sky existed. I have to get back on there. I just look me up, Google my name, see what you find. I dare you.
And Evan, where can people find you?
You can actually find me on Blue Sky at Evan John at Blue Sky.
Neat. If you need to know more about the shows we discussed tonight or what we'll be watching in the future, have a look at our show notes. If you have any other questions at all, we can always be reached at mail@geekade.com. Just include the words "this week's episode" in the subject line so we know who you're trying to reach. This show is available anywhere fine podcasts are sold, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And wherever you decide to listen, please like, comment, subscribe, and leave reviews, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. Again, as always, keep your eyes on Geekade for more fresh, original content. Back to you, Karen.
Well, thank you, darling. I believe it is Angela's turn.
It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! What do you got for us, babe?
I want to watch Abbott Elementary.
Yay!
No, I'm just kidding. Not all of it. I'm thinking I would like to start with the pilot, and if we have capacity, I'd like to do episode 2, because I keep finding that I really dislike a lot of pilots of shows. Yes, I know we just watched one. But I always feel like I kind of want a little bit more than what the pilot delivers. So that's my proposal. Season 1, Episode 1 pilot, and Season 1, Episode 2 light bulb. They're only 22-minute episodes, so I'm hoping that between these 2 episodes, we'll get like a full sense of this show.
A full, a good old network sitcom. Sounds good to me. I've heard nothing but good things about this show, and it is, of course, set in Philly, so it is close to home for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, until next month, that's going to do us for all of us here at this week's episode. I'm Karen.
I'm Angie.
I'm Evan.
I'm the Double Dragons.
We'll see you next time.
And this concludes our broadcast day.